Coach will start us off with a quick opening statement. Please raise your hand for questions. Coach?
Yeah, I think just first of all, thought our guys came out and did exactly what we needed to do. We talked about, our standard of practice throughout the week and then our standard of play once we get out on the field. And I thought they did that. They did a really good job of focusing, going out and executing the game plan, and guys making plays. I think human nature could get in and say, we're playing a team maybe not as talented as us, and you kind of just go through the motions, but our guys did not do that. They came right out and played a really good game right from the start. And then equally as impressive, I thought, for our guys today was when we got to play a lot of the guys toward the end. I thought they played well also. They played hard. They did the things they were supposed to do, and I thought it was a great complete win. I think on all three phases, our team played really excellent. It's a good thing, I think, for programs when you allow your guys to play that bust their butt throughout the whole year. They don't get to play a whole lot. Ben Blevins is the guy that comes to mind. He doesn't get to play a whole lot, and he goes as hard as anybody on our football team throughout the week. And to see him running around and making some tackles today, man, I love to see that. I told the guys in the locker room, this film's going to be fun to watch because you get to watch the guys perform out there that you only see practice a lot. There's a lot of first-time guys that played today, and I thought that's going to be fun to go back and watch that. And I think that's great for our team, from the camaraderie of the guys, to be able to watch those guys play, man. They're just as proud as of those guys that are really on scout teams throughout the week to go out and make plays, man. They love that. So very pleased with that. And I think we came out healthy out of this game as well. So there's a lot of positives. And, another, great crowd here at Nippert, man. I love playing here. And was glad that we were able to, give the fans a lot to cheer about today.
Chad?
49 plays, 605 yards. Probably haven't done that type of average per play much in your career.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's probably pretty good. But, yeah, I mean, we didn't win the time of possession again.
Doubled up
again, man. So
you gotta fix it.
But we'll keep working on that and see if we can help that. But I thought we were very efficient offensively. We went down and we scored pretty quickly, and then early in the game our defense was getting some 3 and outs. And we were scoring fast, and so it just kind of snowballed there, I think. But we were very efficient, is what that says. Only 49 plays. But we made the most of those plays, and at the same time, I think sometimes, again, I mentioned this earlier, but when you start playing a lot of guys, you can get a little sloppy and you don't look as good. But I thought our guys did pretty good for the most part. We went in there and our guys that haven't played much made plays. That was good to see. I think Samaj's first time he's ever played for us, and we had a great drive. That was an excellent drive. He came in and ran hard, hit a couple throws, and Isaiah did the rest on that touchdown. So, but that was good to see as well.
Have you ever been a part of a game where it was reduced to 10-minute quarters, and how did that come about?
No, I mean, at halftime, kind of just talked about it. What do we need to do? Is there anything we can do as far as, maybe lowering the time? I mean, at that point, I think it was 56, and so we just made a decision just to go to 10-minute quarters and play it just like a regular football game at that point, but just 10-minute quarters. That's the first time I've done that.
Latest update on Dante. How did he progress throughout the week?
Yeah, I thought he had a good week this week. He'll certainly have next week to see how quickly he can continue to progress, and then the game week of the following week. So he's making progress, and we'll see where we're at with it. I think I'm trying to think. Any update? Everybody else is pretty healthy. I mean, Logan came back, was good this week. Dingle was out today. That's right. I think Dingle was close, really, really close this week. But I really believe he needed another week, quite honestly, to be 100%. So obviously next week, and then so he'll be ready to go for Kansas for sure.
Starters, at least Sorsby came out near the end of the second half. Was that something you decided before the game, or is that just kind of how the game goes? You want them to rack up stats?
Yeah, I mean, I think at that point, I don't know what it was, maybe 49 at that point. With 6 minutes to go in the first half, and I obviously would like to get the other guys some work. And I think he had 6 touchdowns. He had a really good day, very efficient. I think it was an opportunity for Lichty and to be able to get Samaj in the game is what we really wanted to do at that point. I mean, you never know how the games are going to go. You don't know when you're going to be able to, get some other guys in. But I thought at that point that was a good time to make the switch.
Who initiated the conversation for the 10-minute quarters? Was it your staff or Northwestern State staff?
Yeah, I think really it was the referees. I think they came to us first and just asked, obviously didn't mandate anything, and we were like, yeah, I think 10 minutes probably sounds good. And then they went and talked to them, and they agreed, and that's kind of how it went back and forth. But apparently, I think we're seeing a little bit more of this now with the way college football is, man. Used to teams at the FCS level would get their guys, develop them, and they were All-Americans and they stayed, and now if a guy's a young player and he goes out and has a great season, then he's gonna move on. And I think we're starting to see the gap of the levels, FCS to Group of Five to Power League. I mean, I see the gap growing more and more, and so unfortunately, you're seeing more of this.
On the topic of the gap of play, it's obvious for the team that loses, the hardship they have to go through. For the team that wins, are some of the stuff that you might see in the tape being masked by the difference of talent on both sides?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Certain plays you're going to say, absolutely. But I think for us, again, it's how we're going about it, how we execute. Sometimes, you're going to throw a ball on a play that usually should just get knocked down, and all of a sudden you're just faster and you just run more. I mean, that happens, I think, sometimes in games like this. But for us, we're looking more of the execution, how we got to it, and the execution of it. Sometimes talent will take over, and it did today with some of those plays. But again, for us, it's just about the execution and playing to our standard.
Neil.
Coach, Isaiah Johnson,
Yeah.
apologies there, was a guy who was kind of overlooked with the wide receivers there in the room. Big day for him today. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, he's got talent. He can really run. I think we saw that on the touchdown that he had right there. I think he's an exceptional talent. I think he has not played very much football. I think he played 1 year last year and 1 year of high school prior to that. His best football is ahead of him. I think he's going to continue to get better and better. It's good for him, for all of us, to be able to see him go out and make some plays today. And I think he scored 2 touchdowns today. And I think he's got a bright future. And he's certainly a guy that we got to get more involved on the offense. I mean, I think he's a guy who can. One catch and he can turn the game upside down with the way he can run. So, I think he's really helped himself out today.
Caleb Goody on that poster out a couple times. Did that maybe feel like a video game where they didn't have anybody that could run with them? You could have called that one for 6 anytime you wanted to.
Yeah, the first one was the play we had dialed up this week that we thought maybe would have a chance, and really a cross-country type route for him. We're coming across the field, and we know he can run, and he outran him. A good throw, good catch. The other one was Sorsby could have thrown to him or Cyrus on an over route, but he did. He won on the post route and threw it up, and he made a great catch. Corner played a good. I thought he played it really good on that one. He went up, made a great catch on that one, and but it was good to see Goody. We obviously think Goody can stretch the field and make some plays out there. But I think we saw at Bowling Green, he caught a couple of hitches and went 22 yards one time, went 14 yards on a hitch. I mean, that's what you want to see from Goody, the opportunity for the yak, getting those yards after the catch.
Scott, in track.
How awkward, I think I asked you this before, but how awkward is this game to coach? Because it's almost like you got to have on the crawl that you won 70-0.
Yeah,
and then you've got a quarterback that's 15 for 15 and having a record-setting day, but then you probably want to keep him safe, but you want him to get the record both. I mean, it's I would assume it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I mean, again, you really just focus on going out and playing a very clean and playing to our standard, and then let the chips fall where they may. And that's what we did, I think, early. Also, though, I've been a part of some games and where the team we're playing has got our number and the score's out of hand. That's not fun. That's not a good feeling. And I think out of respect for Northwestern State, you don't want to show them up either. To me, the hard part is in the second half, you want to play your guys and you want to give them an opportunity to make plays. Like Samaj, he has never played, so to let him come out and throw a couple balls, and we didn't throw the ball down the field. We threw a hitch here and we threw a bubble here, And so I think that's the hard part for me, I think, as a coach is, letting your guys play, but also not showing up the team. I don't think that should be a place in football. And I thought our guys handled it the right way today. So we were able to play and make plays, but at the same time, show some respect for the game.
Scott, regardless of the opponent, 15 for 15 against a live opponent is still very, very impressive. Only been done, I guess, Gunnar Kiel did it back in 2015, I think it was. Talk about what it was about his accuracy today that stood out.
Yeah, I really think it started last week at the BG game, because we talked about, hey, just take what they give you, man. Like, if it's a hitch, take it. He did that in that last week, and I thought maybe 3 or 4 times we threw it away last week. And I mentioned I thought he had one bad throw, and it was a quick game. Could have been called, but it was a little errant. But today, extremely obviously efficient, and he threw catchable balls today, and he threw where our guys could go make plays. I think our guys are talented enough to where if we can just get them the ball in space, they're going to be able to make some plays. And just taking what they give us and not getting bored with throwing a hitch, not getting bored with throwing a swing. And he did that. And I think we're seeing some of the fruit of that, when we're taking what the defense gives us and allowing these guys to do that. But you're right. It's hard to go 15 or 15 just on air sometimes, an errant throw or a drop pass. So that's an awesome stat. And what else is awesome is being able to go 21 for 23 and you played 3 quarterbacks, all 3 completions, had touchdown passes. That's pretty cool too. That's hard to do, but I do think it shows the work that our receivers and our quarterbacks have put in, this offseason.
Cool. Any other questions for Coach? Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, guys.